Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, and a happy new year to you all. The first live stream of 2021, and I have to say, it is a big, big game. This one. It is Aston Villa against Liverpool, and it is at Villa Park. And we all know what happened the last time we faced Aston Villa at Villa Park. But to join me to preview this FA Cup tie is Chris Ellis from Villa Together. How are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. About yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm trying to sort of get my head out of the the last meeting, but no, I'm really looking forward to this game. It's a chance of redemption. I think because I don't think anyone expected it. To be fair, it's been a very weird season, whichever way you look at it. And I mean, your form has been pretty good. How would you sum up your season so far?
Very good. I don't think you can say otherwise. The only frustration, I think, probably two frustrations for most Villa fans. I think the first one would be that we haven't been there to be able to enjoy some of these brilliant wins. The 7-2 against Liverpool would have been one of them. That would have been incredible to be at Villa Park for. I think the other one is that although we're 8th in the league, we've got 2 games in hand, which if we won them, it would put us a point behind Liverpool. So on reflection, that kind of shows how good we have been. But I think the other thing is that you look at some of the games that we've lost this season, in particular Brighton, West Ham, Southampton. They're games where we've kind of been masters of our own downfall, where poor defending or mistakes have cost us in those games. And you think we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Leicester, we've had some good wins this season. And then to lose against West Ham, Brighton, Southampton. I suppose West Ham and Southampton are having relatively decent seasons themselves. But when you look at the teams we have beaten, you kind of would have expected to have won those games that we haven't won. So probably only frustrations. But apart from that, it's been a very, very good season. You know, we finished last season 1 point off relegation, finished 17th, which was all we needed to do. But the last thing we wanted was to leave it to the last game on the last day. So it's certainly a massive improvement, and it's been it's been very, very good so far.
Would you say your away form has been much better than your home form?
Yeah, I think when you look at the results, it is fairly black and white because we've beaten Arsenal away. I think we conceded we've conceded 3 goals away from home. Or we had done, I think, before the United games. Yeah, so including 9 games, we conceded 5 goals away from home. I think we'd won 4, drawn 1, lost 2, so it's fairly decent. But when you actually look at our performances, home and away, there's not actually too much of a difference. There's in terms of you look at the games, and you look at the shots we'd had at goal, things like expected goals. I think the only game that we've been outperformed on in terms of expected goals was Leeds, possibly the Man United game as well. So it kind of shows that in the majority of our games this season, home and away, we have been the better team. But yeah, it is black and white in terms of results. They've certainly been better away from home than at home. But it's just one of them. I think at home sometimes we've just had poor mistakes, letting early goals, been a bit naive at times, but yeah, no, it's been good.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say a quick hello to a few people, because Jordan Hyman LFC, he was in the chat. He was in the chat an hour before we started. Let's get our revenge on Aston Villa. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be one of those games, isn't it? It's going to be one of those games for sure. Dupe, MCFC, hope you're doing well. Liverpool's going to win. I'm not so sure about that, especially with our away record recently. George Kyle, easy Villa win. Dupe going for the 7-2. Yes, I get that. Sorry, that's not the one I wanted. All right, Dougie buddy, how's life going? Family, mate? Yeah, it's going not too bad. I'm off work for the rest of the week, so it's been very, very nice to have this wee break. Because honestly, working in a supermarket right now, it's hellish for sure. George Kyle, sell United Jack Grealish, please, for 50 million. What do you say to that?
What do they want? His football boots or one leg, or what they have to 50 million? It's not really you're not really going to get a lot of Jack Grealish for that.
No, definitely not. Guys, I put up a YouTube channel. Comment and subscribe, Jordan. I'll check it out in a minute. I'll check it out after this preview, Jordan. No, not a problem with that. That makes our win over Villa even better than knowing that. Yes, I would agree with that. I think look at the teams that the Villa have played this season. Arsenal away, they won 3-0. Sorry, yeah, they did win 3-0. They drew with Chelsea as well. That was a big result. But obviously, anyone could get a result over Frank Lampard right now. I like that. Big up the family whose pain has come to an end. Are you? Yeah, definitely. Chris Welsh, hi lads, hope you're well. Hi Chris, hope you're doing well. Liz Golden's in the chat. Nipun Sharma's in the chat. Here's a question for you, Chris. Do you think Aston Villa will go strong?
I was thinking about this earlier. It's a tough one. I think at the start of the season, looking at our squad, a lot of people, a lot of Villa fans probably would have said we haven't really got the squad depth there. But recently, we've had to kind of delve into the squad a bit more. Barkley's been injured. We had injuries. Trezeguet's been injured as well. We had suspensions to Matty Cash and Douglas Luiz. So we had players coming in like El Ghazi came in, who back end of last season, he just looked like he was on his way out 100%. Hadn't had a look in all season. He scored 5 in his last 5. El Ghazi, Bertrand Traore seems to have started picking up as well now. So it shows we've got a bit of squad depth there, but it just totally depends on how we want to approach the game. If we feel that this is we've got a serious chance of winning silverware, then we'll go strong. If we are going to prioritise the Premier League, then we'll probably go weaker. I expect to see us go fairly strong, maybe make a couple of changes. So we might rest Ollie Watkins because he is our main man. I think he's only been subbed off once this season, possibly. So he's played 90 minutes almost every game. So probably bringing Keenan Davis there. Might be a change to centre midfield. Maybe see Jacob Ramsey get a start. Possibly a change or two in defence. So probably be a bit of a mix, I'd imagine. I'd be surprised to see us go one way or the other, either full kind of second string or full strength.
Yeah,
because I think it's even though it's an opportunity for us to win silverware, it's not like we beat Liverpool and we're in the semi-finals. We've still got quite a few games to get through, but at the same time, it's probably an opportunity for us to rest a couple of players just to make sure that when we come up against, because we've got a tough month this month. We've got Man City, we've got Spurs to play this month, so I think we've got 8 games in January. So it would be. I think it'd be reasonable for us to kind of go a bit of both, a bit of second string, a bit of full strength.
Yeah, definitely. So Klopp, I absolutely agree with this. I hope we take this seriously. Yes, I hope so. But you know what Klopp's like with the cups, doesn't take it very seriously at all. I'm almost in 200 subs this Nipun. Very, very good. Sick of going out early on the FA Cup. Not to mention how poor our record against Villa is, especially in the Cup. Yes, I was mentioning that earlier, actually. I was mentioning that off camera that the last meeting between the sides in the FA Cup, them beat us 2-1 at Wembley. And certain Christian Benteke was on the score sheet that day, and Fabian Delph as well. And I think Coutinho scored for us that day as well. And so
Coutinho scored the first goal, and then we came back.
Were you there?
Yeah, yep, unbelievable. Tim Sherwood was manager. He brought in Jack Grealish, who'd been on the fringes at that time. And it was kind of like, oh, okay, let's see how he gets on. And he was brilliant. It was so good to see, we had Delph, had Benteke, Grealish was coming through. It was brilliant. But then we got to the cup final, we got battered against Arsenal. So it was a bit like, cheers.
Yeah, that I remember that. I remember that as well. That Arsenal, the kings of the FA Cup, you'd have to say. We'd like to win this game, so we go into the United game on the back of a win. Yeah, I would agree with that, Chris. Absolutely. Grealish is the best creator in the Premier League. Yes, absolutely. Him and Bruno, I would say as well. Hi lads, hope you both well. Can't wait for this game. Very nervous. # you'll never walk alone. Hello to Jack Mack. Hope you are doing well, my friend. The quality of the chances he creates is also exceptional. Yeah, absolutely. Afternoon to Genie the Dragon 20. Afternoon all. Hope everyone is doing well. Doing tickety boo, my friends. We should try and sign Grealish. Ox and Keita are injury prone, and he can be the man to link the midfield with the attack, and he chips in with goals too. So there's a Man United fan and a Liverpool fan suggesting that we sign Grealish. I mean, how much would it honestly take to get Jack Grealish out of Aston Villa? Because remember, he did sign a new contract pretty recently as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of them with Grealish. In terms of, if you look at him as I suppose he's played both this season as a number 10 or a winger. In comparison to other players like him, if you put him in that bracket, you're probably saying his value is probably between 60 to 80 million, possibly. But then you take into consideration his value to us as a club, you'd probably be looking at doubling it, to maybe at least 120 million, because Jack Grealish goes, he's pretty much irreplaceable for us. So then the value to us is greater because it has a significant knock-on effect to our successes going forward. So I think 60 to 80 as a player on its own, take his value to the club into consideration, you're probably looking at 120 million at least.
Wow, yeah, I don't think we've got that kind of money, unfortunately. Afternoon, Genie, says George Kell. My line versus Aston Villa: Kelleher, Nico Williams, Reece Williams, Phillips, Tsimikas, Jones, Milner, Shaqiri, Oxley, Chamberlain, Minamino, Origi. I would put Larouci in, but Tsimikas back apparently. Interesting. When I was reading on that, I didn't see his name being mentioned. Apparently, he might be out at the same time as Jota. So, interesting indeed. Agree with Chris. Lineup. Problem for Liverpool is I don't think they have enough money. 19 million minimum. Yeah, absolutely. Probably minimum 90 million for Grealish. Villa want 100 million plus. Everyone's on the same wavelength here. How do you both Grealish's development in the coming years? Reckon he can really push on? To be honest, Jack, I honestly, Grealish has really, really impressed me. I think he's a cracking player. You had all those, the Maddison and Grealish comparisons. Like, who would you want? Would you want Maddison or would you want Grealish? Now, for me, I felt that those comparisons were a little bit too naive because they play in different positions. So, but for me, Grealish has been absolutely fantastic, and probably would you say he's one of your player of the season so far?
Yeah, it's just easy to kind of, when you ask a lot of questions about who our best player is and who our best player has been and stuff like that. Always he's going to be at the top of everything. He's been fantastic, but I think a lot of Villa fans would probably agree with me. Since he burst on the scene, I say burst on the scene, since he first came into the team under Sherwood, he hasn't changed that much as a player. He's in terms of ability wise, it's always been there. He's become bigger, as in, he's put on a bit of muscle, which probably needed. He was, quite a skinny guy. Liz, he wears such small socks because he did it for one game. I think it was something like either his socks shrunk or he put on the wrong socks. They were really small, and it's kind of a bit of a superstition thing that he played well in that game. He's kept them on, but he's also said he hates wearing shin pads, so that's why he wears such small shin pads as well. So it's kind of like comfort and a bit of superstition. So he's just stuck with it. But yeah, in terms of ability, it's always been there, and he's just every season he just seems to be extra levels to his game. You look this season, I think he's been involved in 15. He's got 15 goals and assists already this season, which I think 5 goals. No, it can't be that many. He's got 5 goals and I think he's got 8 assists. Just every game. And if you watch Villa as well, and you look at, I think in terms of chances created, he's created the most chances in the Premier League this season, which I think is 55 or 56. Ahead of Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, and probably Trent is up there as well. And also, we've played 2 games less than a lot of teams. So it kind of just puts that into perspective about how good he's been. But you watch a lot of games and you think, especially Crystal Palace, he put, created some good chances for Ollie Watkins that he didn't put away. So in terms of his assists, every year for the last 2 or 3 seasons could have been much higher. So you just think you put him into a team of better quality of what his statistics would look like. It's almost frightening. But yeah, you just as a Villa fan, you see him and you think he's just unbelievable, and you don't kind of think he can get any better because you see him as that good anyway. But he just seems to just go to the next level. Each game just gets to the next level. He's just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Grealish is on a totally different level, such that he can be compared to De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely agree. Bits and Bobs is in. Hello, Bits and Bobs. Hope you're doing well. He is a Manchester United fan, but he is Scottish-based in Edinburgh, just like myself. So very great to see you in here. Hope you are doing well, and hope your channel's going well as well. Let's go and saying thanks to you for describing that. What does I am small chimpanzees and socks if he comes to Manchester United? Dearie me. Do you worry Grealish would want to leave for big money? Asked Liz.
It's a tough one, and I think a lot of Villa fans have this conversation amongst themselves quite a lot. To be honest, there's you mentioned it before, Doug, that he signed a 5-year contract in the summer. Now, you can look at that 2 ways. Firstly, he signed a 5-year contract, which would have been, more money for him, probably better bonuses, but also at the same time, he probably signed a 5-year contract to protect us as a club so that we can get the most money out of him if he leaves. Now, he's an ambitious guy. He will want to play Champions League football. I think one thing that may have helped him is that he wanted to play international football, which he's done now. Not only has he done international football, but he's shown that he can compete. He was man of the match against Belgium, who are #1 ranked side in the world. So that was probably something that may, help him stay at Villa. The fact that possibly beforehand he could have thought, I'm not getting in the England team, I need to move. I suppose one thing at the moment that is helping us, I suppose, is no one's going to make big money moves at the moment because of the COVID situation. A lot of clubs are losing money, because they're not getting the revenue from match day tickets, etc. But at the same time, I just keep thinking about his ambition and his desire to play Champions League football. And whereas we're going from strength to strength every season to go forward. He's been brilliant, El Ghazi. He's an odd one, El Ghazi, because literally,
is he like a new signing?
He is, and Villa fans probably agree with me, and other people who may have seen a lot of him. If he's not playing well, he's pretty much useless. In all fairness, with no disrespect to him, but if he's on form and if he is somewhere near the top of his game, it's like he's like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's direct. He's got good feet. He just shoots all day long. I think he's had. Yeah, I know we lost the Belgium game, but he was man of the match. It was just a point just to show that he could compete with the best players in the world. El Ghazi's gonna be an ex-Ronaldo.
John McGinn.
No, but going back to my Grealish point, it's gonna be tough. It could go either way. I think it is gonna be tough for us to keep hold of him. But at the end of the day, he's captain of his boyhood club. If he can see that we are at least making steps to try and match his ambition, so we've got 2 billionaire owners, who I think are probably worth about a combined 12 billion or something like that, possibly. You look at the signings we made this season; they've all been successes, and we've moved up a next level. We're 8th in the league with 2 games in hand. We've competed by beating some of the better clubs in the league. So if we can continue to match his ambition, then there's a potential that he could stay, but you never know. Someone like Real Madrid could easily come in, and that would make it easier for him, because then if he's going to, Man United or Man City possibly, then he lines up against Aston Villa. It makes it hard for him, because no matter what, he's going to support Aston Villa. If Real Madrid came in for him and he would go to Real Madrid and be their best player, it possibly could make it easier. But you just don't know. That there's players over the years. Steven Gerrard, for example, had the opportunity to move club. He stayed at Liverpool. I suppose it's slightly different because at least Liverpool were, for the majority of his career, Liverpool were challenging top four.
Yeah.
A couple of seasons challenging, for the title. Never got it, but, they were challenging. Whereas for us, a player who could play Champions League is going to want to be at least challenging for it. But then you look back at Wayne Rooney. He signed, I think it was 2003. He signed a 3-year contract with Everton at the time, which was the longest contract that he could sign for his age because he was under 17. Signed a 3-year contract, and then within a year, he'd gone to Manchester United. So again, that's just to protect the club. But hopefully he'll stay, but you just don't know. It could go either way.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things that could keep him at the club, but there's also a lot of things that could kind of sway his decision to leave the club. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, he's a cracking player, and he's been influential in your success this season, which is 8th in the Premier League, which is absolutely fantastic. Now I have to say that the performance against Southampton was absolutely awful. So I am hoping for a response. How do you think Aston Villa will set up in this game?
Just the way we have done all season. To be honest, we've shown that we can go toe to toe with any team in the league. Everyone we've played, we've not kind of shied away. Last season, when we played teams, you were looking at things like statistics wise, you were looking at the likes of Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, etc. They were having 25, 26 shots against us, 10 to 15 shots on target, and we were having overall 5 shots at goal, 1 shot on target. We were getting completely dominated. But this season, possession is a lot closer, and in terms of chances, there's been a lot of games where we've had a lot of chances more than the teams that you'd expect to. So we've got, in terms of most positions across the park, it won't really change the way we approach the game. We'll look to be tight and compact at the back, and then we can counter, and we have countered a fair bit this season because we've got a bit of pace going forward. But at the same time, we can play on the front foot. So it's just going to depend, I suppose, what lineup we go up with. I think if we do make changes and we go 50-50 in terms of half full strength, half kind of second string, then we'll probably look to counter a bit more. But if we go full strength, I could see us possibly just pushing on a bit. But you go back to the 7-2 game, we looked in that game, we kind of Dean Smith and the lads had obviously looked at Liverpool, how they play intricately, and that the fullbacks get high. We look to exploit that by getting the high turnovers in the middle of the park, like Douglas Luiz, Ross Barkley did it as well, pushing to win that ball back in the middle of the park. Then we were looking to get the ball forward quickly, and we did that. So we'll probably try and do the same, in all fairness. It just depends how Liverpool approach it, because like you say, Liverpool's form hasn't been so good recently. I think it was that 2 points from their last 3 games.
4 wins in the last 15 Premier League away games. That's not great.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think, like you watch the Southampton game, obviously Liverpool had most of the ball and they did most of the knocking. But in terms of good clear-cut chances, that they're very few and far between. And I suppose it's you can look at it one way. You want maybe something a bit different from Liverpool to try and mix it up a bit, to be a bit less predictable at times, which I think is a big part of Liverpool's success over the last. This is what the third good season they've had now. In all fairness, is that
here's a good question.
They're less predictable than the likes of Man City. They can they hit you on the break and they hit you hard, and they've probably, because of having the odd injury, that their fluidity going forwards kind of dropped off a bit. But with Liverpool, they've got that quality, so they're always going to have that.
Here's a good question for you. Probably my favourite Aston Villa player back in the day was Benito Carboni. Who is your favourite Villa player of all time?
Carboni, what a player. I get asked this a lot, and I'd probably say Gareth Barry. I loved Ashley Young as well growing up. Gareth Barry was one for me because We signed him from Brighton when he was young, and he came through, and he played everywhere: left back, centre half, centre mid, left wing, right wing. He's a brilliant player, and he was a big part of our kind of success under Martin O'Neill. Yeah, I think we probably should finish top 10 this season, but I've said all along I'd take 12, I'd take somewhere around 12th place would be good. But I suppose it's hard to not want to finish higher up in the table when you've had such a good start. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of you. So
you do have some tough games. As George Kyle said, Villa have improved dramatically this season compared to last.
Yep.
Genie the Dragon 20 says it's actually crazy that Tim Sherwood got the Villa job. Yeah, I know, but still managed to beat us. Back in 2015. Nipun Sharma has gone for Martinez, Cash, Mings, Konza, Target, McGinn, Louise, Grealish, El Ghazi, Watkins, Traore. I think it may be mixed, to be honest with you. I will show you the Liverpool team that I've got very, very shortly as well. Chelsea have to be the most underachieving club in the Premier League this season, given the fact they spent that amount in the summer. I mean, you said on one of the podcasts, didn't you, earlier in the last year, that you said that Frank Lampard was under the most pressure as Chelsea manager.
Yeah, I think we mentioned something on one of our podcasts in the summer about, this was before we'd kind of made all our signings, but you could tell from the first couple of signings we made that they were looking at bringing in the right players for the team. With Chelsea, it just seems like they've gone, everyone had heard of and knew how good Timo Werner was. The same as Kai Havertz, and you look at them and you think, that side, they needed to pick the right players to fit it. They were crying out for a centre half. They've got hundreds of centre midfielders. They needed an extra quality winger to complement Pulisic. I mean, they brought in Ziyech, but he's not a out and out winger like Pulisic. Yeah. So I just think that they haven't brought in the right players. And you just got to look at Frank Lampard's selections. I think Havertz has played every position behind the front man. And I think Werner's played either side, left wing, right wing, and up top. So he's brought in these players without knowing 100% where they fit in. And I think that's a big problem. Like I say, going back to my point, Aston Villa have brought in players to fit in the right place.
Mm.
Chelsea have brought in players probably off their reputation rather than anything. Obviously, they're good quality players, but you need to play to their strengths, and they certainly haven't done that, and Chelsea are going to struggle.
Yeah. Hello to Tom May, who is a big Evertonian. Villa could easily get a top 6 finish, but who knows? This league this season has been so unpredictable. Who knows who's going to win the league? Yeah, exactly. It's one of those ones. It's been a very strange season. Watkins, I love, just hated him when he was running our back line and terrorised us in that famous game. Yeah, absolutely indeed. Right, I'm going to have to ask you this. What is your starting 11 for the game on Friday evening?
I'm going to go with Tom Heaton in goal. Back four of Matty Cash, Ezri Konza, Tyrone Mings, Matt Target. Midfield three of Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Jacob Ramsey, El Ghazi, Traore, and Keenan Davis. So Grealish, I think, might rest him along with a couple of others. But yeah, bringing in Ramsey, give Heaton a chance as well because he's a good quality goalkeeper. I think it'd be a good opportunity. So it's a fairly balanced side, but to be honest, I haven't got a clue what he's going to go with because sometimes in the cup competitions we've gone second string, but then at the same time we are playing Liverpool, and you don't want to you want to kind of compete, don't you? So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I'm going to go with.
Interesting. So a bit of experience, bit of youth. I like it. Genie the Dragon, Angel Rangel was a baller. He certainly was. Great player. Elevator Kid, we should win. Well, see what happens. There are a couple of Has Lampard ever played his best 11? Nope. Just watch out, Frank Lampard gets sacked after he would get completely battered by Leicester City. Well, who knows? Who knows what will happen? You're probably going to lose to Leicester, but you ain't getting battered. Right, I will give you my Liverpool 11. So this is the starting 11 I think Jurgen Klopp will go with, and it will go on the screen now. So I've gone for Hakeem Kelleher, Nico Williams, Reece Williams, Nathaniel Phillips, James Milner, Curtis Jones, Thiago, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri, Minamino Origi, and then the bench, Adrian, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Mane, Firmino, Robertson, and Clarkson. So I have to say that is probably a lot of youth, and it is a lot of experience as well. I just think that Klopp, as I've said, doesn't really care about the cups. So I've got a feeling it'll be some sort of team. I think Chris mentioned that Tsimikas might be back, so could be him. But for me, if he's no match fit, I wouldn't risk him. So obviously, left back Robertson will be on the bench. So probably play Milner unless he goes for a 4-2-3-1. But who knows? But I have to say that that is my team. I mean, looking at that team, Chris, how do you react to that team?
7-2. No, well, I mean, last time we played you in the cup, which was the Carabao Cup last season, wasn't it? And we ended up winning 5-0. So possibly I'd go for a repeat of that. Maybe we'll have to see. It's I mean, the thing is, I suppose, realistically, looking at that side, the defence on paper looks poor, but a lot of those defenders have had first team experience this season because of the injuries you've had in defence. Williams, Nico Williams has shown he's a fairly competent right back. Phillips has had his moments, but he's done okay at centre back. Same as Williams, Reece Williams. Milner at left back, obviously he's played there. Milner can play anywhere. I suppose obviously going forward, the likes of, Oxlade-Chamberlain hasn't played a lot of football, but we know he's a very, 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 I like Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's a very, very good player. Shaqiri, Minamino, good players as well. Probably there's a lot of players. I think the more experienced players have got a lot to prove. I think because I suppose it's their opportunity to kind of show something to Klopp to possibly get in the side. So it's probably not as if Liverpool do we go with that side. On paper, I think there'll be a lot of Villa fans thinking it would be relatively straightforward. But then again, like I said, there is more experience in those younger players than you probably think, because a lot of them have had to play this season. And I think the more experienced players, they've got a lot to prove, because a lot of them have had time out injured this season, and they've got to kind of try and work their way back into it. Obviously, they're going to get themselves up to fitness, but they're going to try and work their way back into the side and hopefully push to get themselves into it. So it would still be tough, but I'd hope we'd have enough. But it just totally depends what team we'd play. But if we played the side I said, which would be a slight mix, then I think we'd probably just about have enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And happy 35th birthday to James Milner. He's turned 35, and that guy doesn't grow with age at all. So, there's a couple of people saying that Lampard doesn't know his best 11. I think we all agree with that. George Kyle, we don't beat Liverpool at Anfield with that injury hit backline. I'll be really angry on the 17th. Yeah, it's probably their best chance to beat us, to be honest. It's the best chance for them. Thiago Jota might be back for the Spurs game, says Elevator Kid. That would be amazing. I love James freaking Milner. Yes, Liz Golden, we all know that you love James freaking Milner. To be honest, I do as well. Thiago's the best Liverpool player in that lineup. Yeah, he is. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Who is Clarkson, says Nipun Sharma. Clarkson is a youngster. He played his competitive debut against FC Midtjylland in that game where Diogo Jota, sadly, and Kostas Tsimikas got injured. So, I think Leighton Clarkson, his name is as well. I swear we better beat Man United or at least draw since it's Man United. Leighton Clarkson, only Leighton's playing Champions League for a Merseyside club. Oh, I do like that. I do like. Chris, I do like your. I do like that. My prediction: Aston Villa and Liverpool won. Have to back my team to get win or draw, no matter what form we are in. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I'm going Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 2, Liverpool to win on pens. Yeah, because there's no replays this year. I think they go straight to extra time and penalties. And actually, another thing, I did read that clubs have to have 14 fit players to play in the FA Cup this week, apparently. So that could be doubtful for a couple of teams because obviously with COVID, etc. So it's because James Mona has the elixir of youth in his Ribena. Yeah, absolutely. Thiago could have been sent off on Monday. Yeah, he could have been. Right, Chris, your prediction. What is your prediction for the game?
I'm going to go 2-0 to Villa.
Okay. Ooh, who to score?
I'm going to say El Ghazi and Ezri Konsa.
Ezri Konsa.
Ezri Konsa is the only defender who's played over a certain number of minutes this season that has not been dribbled past.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's only missed 2 games for us this season because he was unwell, but he's been an absolute colossus for us this season. He's been fantastic.
Very interesting. I'm really torn about this game. I really am. My head says 2-1 Villa. My heart says 1-1. I don't think we'll win. I don't think we're going to win through 90 minutes. I honestly don't. And then if it goes to extra time and penalties, I am actually going to say that we will probably win on penalties. So, what do I go with? I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with 1-1 draw, and then I think we'll win on penalties. That's my prediction. But I tell you something, it could be any scoreline, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, get your predictions in the chat, and obviously, if you are watching this back, then obviously let us know your starting 11s and let us know your prediction for the game. And I'm sure myself or Chris will definitely reply to you. So, got a couple of predictions here. Villa 3, Liverpool 1, says George Kyle.
Yeah, go for that one.
7-0. I think that's very ambitious.
You know, this year's been mental, hasn't it? So
it has.
You never know. It'd just be our luck to end up losing 7-0, and then we'll go off the rails and go down.
I predict a good match. Liverpool win, says Les Golden. Yeah, it's going to be a cracking match. And this is on Friday evening, 7:45 kickoff, and it is live on BT Sports. So remember that, people. At least it's not on Sky, and at least to be fair, I do like Amazon Prime. And I think their coverage is better than Sky's anyway. Chris, it's an absolute pleasure to chat to you and preview the game. Where can we find you in your socials?
So we're on YouTube, Villa Together. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. Both of them are at Villa Together. So anyone watching, drop us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Also, get subscribing on YouTube if you want to keep up to date with what's going on at Aston Villa. If you don't, totally understand. But yep, there we go.
All Chris's socials are in the description down below. Only thing, go and give them a follow. YouTube channel's doing really well now, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think we're on heading towards 300 subscribers. Probably averaging 500 views a video at the moment. The most we had, I think, was 5k views post match as well. So it's one of them. It's you'll find it with football. If your team's doing well, then you get a lot of love. People watch the videos, stuff like that. But if your team aren't doing great, or you do a post match video after a defeat, then sometimes the numbers aren't what you expect. But as long as there's one person watching, then we'll keep going.
Well, big thank you, Chris, and I really, really do appreciate it. And guys, if you are watching this after we've obviously gone live, then obviously just let us know your score prediction and let us know your starting 11. I'll just go through some comments before we go. Elevator Kids, sell Origi, please. Lord Origi, please. Thanks, as Golden. Only issue with Amazon Prime is when it freezes, yeah. But everything has teething problems, you'd have to say. So
that's your internet connection, George.
Thanks, Doug and Chris and all. Yeah, not a problem. I've really, really enjoyed this. Les Golden. Should we sell Trent and Origi? Trent? No. Trent's just.
There's a lot. There's been a lot of. I'm going to use this term. There's been a lot of shade thrown towards Trent because he was pretty poor against Southampton. Wasn't the only one, and he probably hasn't hit the heights of his last 2 seasons this season. Oh, nice one. Thanks, Liz. Appreciate it. He hasn't hit those heights, but then there will be a lot of people who compare, Tariq Lamptey's done good at Brighton. Obviously, Matty Cash has done well for Villa. Reece James at Chelsea. But you've got to remember, Trent Alexander-Arnold was at the top of his game for 2 seasons in the last 2 seasons. Last year when Liverpool won the league, the year before when they almost won the league. And this season I don't think he's been terrible, but he's been slightly below par. So he's done it. He's been a lot more consistent than the other right backs. So I think it's worth people remembering that about Trent is a top player. He's just hasn't been up to his standards this season. But when you set the bar so high, sometimes people pick up on those kind of things, don't they? But I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, Trent, is." When you look at English right backs, Trent is, ranks low down. Realistically, it doesn't. He's done it a lot more consistently than people, probably barring Kyle Walker, who's probably less of a right back these days, and Kieran Trippier. Apart from that, he's well ahead the other guys. In all fairness,
yeah. Elevator Kid, Mbappe 2021. Yeah, man. We'll see what happens with that. Mbappe not happening. I'll do a forfeit if it does. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see what happens on Friday evening. It should be a really, really interesting game. But thank you for everyone who's watched this, and go and subscribe to Villa Together, doing absolutely fantastically on YouTube and on the podcast scene. And go and subscribe to Chris's give Chris a follow on his Twitter. I've left that in the description as well. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.